No one on Earth knew that their future had already been decided. Far beyond the stars, in a place humans had never seen, a great hall floated in space. It was larger than any human city. The walls glowed with strange lights. The air shimmered with energy. This was the Galactic Council, where thousands of alien species met to decide the fate of worlds. On this day, one world stood above all others: Earth. The council chamber was silent as the image of Earth appeared in the center of the hall. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds, a small world, yet full of life. Many eyes watched. Some were sharp, some were cold, some were afraid. A tall, thin alien with silver skin stepped forward. His voice echoed through the hall. "Humans grow fast," he said. "They fight among themselves, yet they survive. They destroy, yet they rebuild. This makes them dangerous." Another voice rose, deep and heavy. "They are weak," said a massive creature with stone-like skin. "Their bodies are soft. Their technology is behind ours. Why fear them?" The silver alien turned slowly. "Because they do not stop. Because they adapt. Because they never surrender." The hall filled with low sounds, growls, clicks, whispers, and hums. Different species spoke in different ways, but the meaning was clear. Fear. A third alien floated forward. Her form was made of light, shifting and glowing. "They already reached space," she said calmly. "They send machines beyond their world. They look at the stars. They will not stay on Earth forever." Another alien, small but sharp-eyed, spoke quickly. "Then we must act before they grow stronger." The image of Earth slowly rotated in the center of the hall. No one spoke for a moment. Then the silver alien raised one long finger. "I call for a vote," he said. "The question is simple. Do we allow humans to grow freely, or do we control them now?" A wave of energy passed through the hall. Every species prepared to vote. Far away on Earth, the sun rose over cities and mountains. People woke up. Children went to school. Workers went to their jobs. Planes flew. Ships sailed. Life continued. No one knew the galaxy was watching. No one knew the galaxy was afraid. Back in the council hall, the vote began. Lights appeared in the air, each color representing a choice. Green for freedom, red for control, yellow for observation. One by one, the lights changed. Red, red, red. A few greens appeared. A few yellows, but red grew faster. The silver alien watched closely. His eyes narrowed as the final count appeared. The result was clear. Earth would be enslaved. A heavy silence filled the hall. The silver alien spoke again. "The decision is made. Humans will be placed under control before they become a threat to the galaxy." Some aliens looked relieved. Some looked unsure. Some looked afraid of what they had just done. Orders were sent instantly. Across the galaxy, massive fleets powered up. Ships larger than mountains began to move. Weapons charged. Armies prepared. The invasion of Earth had begun. On Earth, the first sign came quietly. A deep space telescope detected strange movement near the edge of the solar system. Scientists watched as unknown objects appeared on their screens. "These are not asteroids," one scientist said softly. "They're moving too fast," another replied. "And in formation." Alarms were sent. Governments were alerted. Military leaders were called. Soon, the objects were visible from Earth's orbit. Huge ships. Dark. Silent. Endless. They surrounded the planet like a ring of shadows. Across the world, people looked up. Some saw strange lights in the sky. Some saw nothing but felt fear. News spread fast. Unknown ships in orbit. Possible alien contact. World leaders call emergency meeting. In a secure room beneath the ground, leaders from many nations sat together. Screens showed the massive fleet. One leader spoke. "Has anyone made contact?" A military officer shook his head. No response yet. Suddenly, every screen in the room changed. A strange symbol appeared. Then it shifted into human language. A voice echoed through the room. "People of Earth," the voice said. You are now under the authority of the Galactic Council. You will surrender all military power and accept our control. Resistance will result in destruction. The room went silent. Some leaders looked shocked. Some looked angry. Some looked afraid. One leader stood. "Who are you?" he demanded. The voice replied calmly. "We are the guardians of galactic order. Your species is a threat to future peace. This action is necessary." Another leader slammed his hand on the table. "You attack us without warning and call it peace?" The voice did not change. "You have 1 hour to comply." The screens went dark. The room exploded with voices. "We cannot surrender. This is an invasion. We are not ready." A general stood up, his face serious. "We may not be ready," he said, "but we will not kneel." Across Earth, people watched the sky. Children asked their parents what was happening. Parents had no answers. Some prayed. Some cried. Some prepared. In military bases, soldiers moved fast. Jets were fueled. Missiles were armed. Satellites were repositioned. Humanity stood at the edge of the unknown. 1 hour passed. Then, without warning, the first attack began. A bright beam of light shot from one of the alien ships and struck an empty desert. The ground melted into glass. A massive shockwave spread outward. A message followed. "This is your final warning." Earth responded. Missiles launched. Fighters rose into the sky. Defense systems activated. The first battle between humans and aliens had begun. The alien ships moved with smooth precision. Human weapons struck their shields but did little damage. Cities were spared at first, but military targets were not. Bases were destroyed. Satellites fell from the sky. Communication systems were damaged. The world shook. Human forces fought bravely, but they were losing. A human pilot, Captain Elias Carter, flew his damaged fighter through a cloud of fire. His face was covered in sweat and blood. "They're too strong," his co-pilot said. "Our weapons aren't working." Carter gritted his teeth. "Then we change our weapons." He turned his fighter sharply, avoiding a beam that cut through space behind him. "We don't run," he said. "We adapt." Back on Earth, leaders watched as the battle worsened. "We're losing control of orbit," one officer said. "We can't stop them," another added. Silence fell over the room. Then a woman at the far end of the table spoke. She was older than most in the room. Her eyes were calm, but her voice was firm. "There is one option left," she said. Everyone turned to her. "What option?" someone asked. She took a deep breath. "The Black Vault." The room froze. Several leaders looked shocked. "That program was abandoned," one said. "It's too dangerous." She shook her head. "It was never abandoned. It was hidden." A general leaned forward. "You're talking about our old defense systems? The ones built in secret?" "Yes," she replied. "Weapons we never planned to use unless Earth faced extinction." Silence filled the room again. Finally, one leader spoke. "If we use them," he said slowly, "we show the galaxy what we really are." She met his eyes. "We show them that we survive." Deep beneath Earth's surface, massive doors opened for the first time in decades. Ancient systems powered on. Old machines hummed. Hidden weapons came to life. These were not new technologies. They were built from fear, from past wars, from humanity's darkest days. And now they were waking up. Across the planet, strange signals activated. Satellites changed course. Hidden bases emerged. Old war machines powered up. The aliens noticed. On the flagship above Earth, a commander studied the new readings. "What is this?" he asked. His officer replied, "Unknown energy sources activating across the planet." The commander's eyes narrowed. "They are not surrendering." "No, Commander," the officer said. "They are preparing something." The commander hesitated for the first time. "Continue the attack," he ordered. "End this quickly." But it was already too late. Human weapons began to change. New defenses activated in orbit. Old satellites turned into weapons. Unknown drones launched from hidden locations. Human ships moved differently now. Smarter. Faster. More dangerous. Captain Carter watched in shock as a human missile struck an alien ship, and this time, the shield failed. The ship exploded in a silent flash of light. "Did you see that?" his co-pilot shouted. "It worked,"
Carter said.
It actually worked. Across the battlefield, human forces began to push back. Alien ships were damaged. Some were destroyed. The invasion slowed. On the alien flagship, panic spread. "They are breaking our shields," an officer shouted. "How is this possible?" another asked. The commander clenched his fists. "They were hiding their strength," he said. Back on Earth, leaders watched the screens as the battle shifted. "We're winning," someone whispered. The woman who spoke earlier nodded. "This is only the beginning," she said. "They thought we were weak. They were wrong." Far beyond the battlefield, in the Galactic Council Hall, alarms echoed. A massive screen showed the battle above Earth. Red lights flashed. Alien ships were burning. Human forces were advancing. The silver aliens stood in silence, watching. "They were supposed to fall quickly," he said. Another council member spoke in fear. "They are fighting back." A third said softly, "They are winning." The silver alien turned slowly. "Humans were never weak," he said. "They were patient." A wave of fear spread through the council. For the first time, doubt filled the hall. Had they made a terrible mistake? On Earth, the battle continued, but hope had returned. Cities still burned. Lives were lost. But humanity stood. Not as victims. Not as slaves. But as fighters. Captain Carter's voice echoed across the battlefield. "This is Earth," he said. "We do not surrender.
We do not bow.
We stand." Human ships surged forward. Alien ships pulled back. The galaxy had expected an easy victory. Instead, they had found resistance. Something they had not planned for. Something they had not understood.
Humanity.
Far above Earth, the silver alien watched the retreating ships on the screen.
His voice was low.
"This was supposed to be a simple operation," he said. "Control a small world. End a future threat."
He paused.
"But we have awakened something." The image of Earth burned on the screen. A small blue world, fighting back against the stars. And winning. The battlefield above Earth was no longer one-sided. Alien ships that once ruled the sky now drifted in silence, broken and burning. Human weapons, once weak and outdated, now cut through shields that were thought to be unbreakable. But the war was far from over. On the alien flagship, Commander Vareth stared at the damage reports. His skin, once calm in color, now darkened in stress. "How many ships lost?" he asked. 37 and counting," an officer replied. "Human weapons are adapting faster than we predicted." Vareth clenched his claws. "They are not supposed to adapt this quickly." "They are," the officer said quietly. "And they are learning from every hit." Vareth turned back to the main screen, where Earth glowed blue and beautiful below the burning sky. "Prepare Phase 2, he ordered. "If we cannot break their weapons, we will break their spirit." On Earth, the mood was changing. Fear still filled the air, but something new had joined it. Hope. In underground command centers, scientists, engineers, and soldiers worked together. Old systems were repaired. New weapons were designed. Every human mind focused on one goal: survive. Dr. Lena Morrow stood in a large control room filled with screens and flashing lights. She had spent her life studying advanced energy systems, but nothing had prepared her for this. "They're using our own signals against them," she said to the general beside her. "Every time they attack, we learn how their weapons work." The general nodded. "And every time we learn, we hit back harder." Lena smiled faintly. "They thought we were behind," she said. "But we were just waiting." Above the planet, Captain Elias Carter guided his ship through floating debris. He watched as alien fighters regrouped in the distance. "They're changing formation," his co-pilot said. "Looks like a new attack pattern." Carter tightened his grip on the controls. "Good," he said. "Let's see what they've learned." Alien ships surged forward in a sharp, fast wave. Their weapons glowed with a new color. The beams cut through space with deadly precision. Human ships responded instantly. Shields flared. Drones launched. Missiles flew. The sky became a storm of light and fire. One alien beam struck Carter's wing. His ship shook violently. Damage on the left side, the co-pilot shouted. Carter pulled the ship upward. Reroute power, he said. We're not done yet. A human missile hit an alien fighter, tearing it apart. Another alien ship tried to escape, but a human drone followed and exploded against its hull. For every human ship lost, 2 alien ships fell. Slowly, painfully, the balance was shifting. Back on Earth, leaders watched the battle unfold. We're holding them, one officer said. Barely, another replied. They're not done yet. Suddenly, alarms sounded. Multiple energy spikes detected. A technician shouted. New alien weapons charging. A large image appeared on the main screen. Massive alien ships moved forward, larger than any seen before. Their surfaces glowed with dark energy. One leader whispered, "What are those?" The woman who had spoken of the Black Vault leaned forward. "Siege ships," she said. "They are built to destroy planets." Silence filled the room. "They're preparing to hit Earth directly," a general said. The woman closed her eyes for a moment. "Then we activate the next layer," she said. "The next layer?" someone asked. She opened her eyes. "Our final defense." Deep beneath the ocean, far from cities and skies, something ancient moved. A massive structure, hidden for generations, began to rise from the depths. Water poured from its sides as it broke the surface.
It was not a ship.
It was a fortress. The oceans shook as more structures emerged from hidden locations across the planet. Mountains opened. Deserts split. Forests hid steel giants that now awakened. Humanity's last line of defense. Built in secret. Forgotten by most. But never destroyed. These machines were not beautiful. They were not gentle. They were built for one purpose. Ward on the alien flagship, Commander Vareth watched in disbelief. "What are those?" he demanded. His officer's voice trembled. Massive structures rising from the planet. Unknown weapon systems detected. Vareth's eyes widened. "They are not a peaceful species," he whispered. "They are a sleeping army." Fear spread through the alien ranks. "They hid this from us," an officer said. "They hid this from the galaxy." Vareth straightened. "Then we end this now," he said. "Fire the siege weapons." The alien siege ships powered up. Dark energy gathered at their cores. The space around them twisted. On Earth, sensors screamed. "They're charging planet-level weapons," a technician shouted. "They're going to hit the surface." The general turned to the woman. "Can we stop them?" She nodded once. "We can try." Above the planet, human ships changed formation. Instead of attacking, they pulled back and formed a defensive wall. Behind them, massive energy shields rose from the surface, connecting with orbital defenses. The sky shimmered as layers of protection formed around Earth. Alien weapons fired. Beams of dark energy slammed into the shields. The shields shook. The ground trembled. Cities felt the impact like distant thunder. People fell to their knees. Children cried. But the shields held. For now. Captain Carter watched the massive beams crash against the defenses. "They're trying to crack the planet," his co-pilot said. "Then we don't let them," Carter replied. Human ships surged forward, targeting the siege ships. But these ships were different. Their armor was thick. Their shields were strong. Human weapons struck, but the damage was small. "They're not going down," the co-pilot shouted. "Then we go bigger," Carter said. Back on Earth, Dr. Lena Moreau stood in front of a massive control panel. A large screen showed a single word, "Awaken." She placed her hand on the panel. "Do it," the general said. She pressed the button. Across the planet, something changed. Energy surged through ancient systems. Hidden cores powered up. Weapons no human had ever seen activated. In orbit, a massive structure unfolded from behind the moon. It had always been there. Watching. Waiting.
It was not a ship.
It was a weapon. A ring of metal and light, larger than any human construction, slowly rotated. Energy flowed through it like rivers of fire. On the alien flagship, alarm screamed. Unknown megastructure detected near the moon. Vareth stared at the screen. That's impossible, he whispered. No species should have technology like that. His officer swallowed. They do. The megastructure aimed at the siege ships. A deep hum filled space. Energy gathered. The alien commanders tried to retreat, but it was too late. A beam of pure force erupted from the structure and struck the nearest siege ship. The ship did not explode.
It vanished.
One moment it existed. The next it was gone. Space where it once stood was empty. Silence followed. Then fear. The beam moved again. Another siege ship vanished. Then another. Human ships cheered across communication channels. Captain Carter stared in shock. Did you see that? His co-pilot whispered. We just erased them, Carter said. Not destroyed. Erased. Alien fleets panicked. Formations broke. Ships tried to flee. But the megastructure continued its slow, unstoppable fire. On Earth, people watched the skies light up. Children stopped crying. Parents looked up in wonder. Hope spread like fire. On the alien flagship, Commander Vareth collapsed into his chair. They were hiding gods, he said quietly. His officer shook his head. No, Commander. They were hiding themselves. Vareth looked up. What do you mean? They are not gods, the officer said. They are survivors. Far away, in the Galactic Council Hall, chaos erupted. Screens showed alien fleets retreating. Siege ships vanishing. Human defenses holding strong. Council members shouted in panic. We are losing. This was a mistake. They were never weak. The silver alien stood in silence, his face pale. They did not rise to power, he said. They endured it. He turned to the council. We tried to enslave a species that learned to survive extinction. We tried to control a world that learned to fight the impossible. Fear spread through the hall. What do we do now? Someone asked. The silver alien closed his eyes. We pray, he said, that they choose mercy. Back in space, human forces continued to push forward. Alien ships fell back toward their jump points. The invasion was failing, but the war was not over. On the alien flagship, Vareth made a final decision. Send a message to the council, he said. Tell them we cannot win this battle. The officer hesitated. And if they refuse to listen? Vareth looked at the image of Earth. Then the galaxy will burn, he said softly. And it will be our fault. Captain Carter watched as the last alien ships began to retreat. They're pulling back, his co-pilot said. We did it. Carter shook his head. No, he said. We survived. He looked at the planet below. Earth still burned in places. Lives had been lost. Cities were damaged. But humanity still stood. And now the galaxy knew. Humanity was not prey. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not alone. Back on Earth, Dr. Lena Moreau sat down, exhausted. The room was silent except for the hum of machines. The general walked over. You just changed the fate of our species, he said. She shook her head. No, she replied. We just revealed it. Far above, the megastructure continued to rotate, silent and powerful. Watching, waiting, not as a threat, but as a reminder. Humanity would not be enslaved.
Not now.
Not ever. The silence after the battle was not peaceful. It was heavy. Space around Earth was filled with broken ships, drifting metal, and quiet flames. The stars looked the same, but everything else had changed. Humanity had survived. But the war was not over. On the alien flagship, Commander Vareth stood alone in the dark command chamber. The lights were low. The air felt cold. The screens showed only one thing: Earth. A small blue world. Too small to cause this much fear. His officer entered quietly. Commander, he said, the fleet is regrouping at the outer system. Vareth did not turn. How many ships remain? He asked. Less than half, the officer replied. Vareth closed his eyes. We were sent to enslave them, he said softly. Instead, we taught them we are afraid. The officer hesitated. They were always dangerous, he said. We just didn't see it. Vareth turned slowly. No, he said. We chose not to see it. Far away, in the Galactic Council Hall, panic ruled. Council members shouted. Some demanded retreat. Others demanded full war. The room glowed with angry lights and broken order. The silver alien stood at the center. This invasion has failed, he said. We must reconsider our approach. A massive alien slammed his fist into the floor. Reconsider, he roared. They humiliated us. They destroyed our fleets. We must crush them. Another council member, small and trembling, spoke. They erased our siege ships, she whispered. No species should have that power. The silver alien's voice grew colder. They do. And they hid it. That alone should frighten you more than their weapons. Silence followed. A voice from the shadows spoke. We need to understand them. All eyes turned. A new figure stepped forward. This alien was tall, thin, and dark, with eyes that glowed faintly red. I am Archivist Kale, he said. Keeper of lost histories. The silver alien nodded. Speak. Kale raised a small device. A glowing image appeared. I have searched ancient records, Kale said. Humanity's history is unusual. The image changed. Scenes of ancient wars, broken cities, fires,
Plagues.
starving people,
Floods.
storms.
Destruction.
They survived global wars, Kale continued. They survived disease that wiped out millions. They survived near-extinction events. The image shifted again. Cities rebuilt. Children born. Technology advancing. Every time they fell, Kale said, they stood back up. The room was silent. They do not evolve peacefully, Kale continued. They evolve through suffering. Fear spread across the hall. They are not dangerous because they are strong, Kale said. They are dangerous because they endure. Back on Earth, celebrations were short. Cities were still burning. Hospitals were full. Millions were displaced. In a ruined city, Captain Elias Carter walked through broken streets. Buildings were collapsed. Smoke filled the air. People searched for loved ones. He stopped near a damaged hospital. Doctors worked outside because the building was unsafe. Children lay on stretchers. Parents cried quietly. Carter looked away. His co-pilot, Mira, stood beside him. We won, she said softly. Carter shook his head. We survived, he replied. There's a difference. Mira nodded. They're not gone, she said. I can feel it. Carter looked up at the sky. So can I. Deep beneath Earth, leaders gathered again. The woman who revealed the black vault stood before them. They've retreated, she said. But they're watching. A general asked, should we pursue them? She shook her head. No, she said. That's what they expect. Another leader leaned forward. Then what do we do? She paused. We prepare, she said. And we change. Change how? Someone asked. She looked around the room. We stop hiding. Silence filled the chamber. We built weapons in fear, she continued. Now we must build alliances in strength. A leader frowned. Alliances with who? The galaxy tried to enslave us. She met his eyes. Not the entire galaxy, she said. Just those in power. In orbit, human ships repaired damage. Engineers worked non-stop. The megastructure near the moon remained active, silent and watching. Dr. Lena Moreau studied its energy output. It's stable, she said, but it cannot fire forever. A technician asked, then what happens when it runs out? Lena looked serious. Then we fight with what we've always had, she said. Our minds. On the alien flagship, Commander Vareth made a bold decision. Prepare a probe, he ordered. A probe, his officer asked. Yes, Vareth said. We send something small. Silent. No weapons. No threats. The officer hesitated. You want to contact them? Vareth nodded. We must understand them, he said, before we destroy ourselves trying to destroy them. The officer bowed. As you command. The probe launched quietly, drifting toward Earth without detection. It carried no weapons, only a message. On Earth, deep space sensors detected a small object entering orbit. This is not a warship, a technician said. It's a probe. The woman frowned. Track it. It's broadcasting, the technician added. A message. Put it on screen, the general ordered. The message appeared. We seek understanding. Silence filled the room. Another message followed. We do not come to fight. A third message appeared. We come to learn. The room erupted. This is a trick. They want our defenses. Shoot it down. The woman raised her hand. Wait. Everyone fell silent. They've never sent anything unarmed before, she said. This is new. A general frowned. Or it's a trap. She nodded. Maybe, she said. But war is also a trap. She turned to the technicians. Can we isolate it? Yes, one replied. Bring it into a controlled orbit, she said. Let's hear what they want. The probe was secured in a safe zone above Earth. Scientists studied it carefully. It sent one final message. Permission to speak. The woman took a deep breath. Allow it, she said. The room filled with a new voice. People of Earth, the voice said. I am Commander Vareth of the Galactic Council's invasion fleet. Gasps filled the room. I do not speak for the Council, Vareth continued. I speak for myself. The woman leaned forward.
Speak, she said.
Vareth's voice lowered. We were wrong. Silence followed. We judged your species without understanding you, he said. We feared what we did not control. So we chose control. The woman's voice was calm. And now, she asked. And now, Vareth said, we fear what we awakened. In the council hall, Archivist Kale watched the message with dark eyes. They are speaking, a council member said. Without permission. Kale nodded. They are doing what we should have done first, he said. Back on Earth, Vareth continued. You survived what no species should survive, he said. You built weapons not to conquer, but to endure extinction. The woman replied, we built them because we had no one to protect us. Vareth was silent for a moment. That is something the galaxy does not understand, he said. We have always lived under protection. The woman's eyes narrowed. And who protected us? She asked. No answer came. Captain Carter watched the broadcast from a military base. Mira stood beside him. They're talking, she said. Talking doesn't erase what they did, Carter replied. No, she said. But it changes what comes next. Vareth spoke again. The council will not stop, he said. They will try again. Stronger. Smarter. The woman asked, then why speak to us? Because, Vareth said, if they return, the galaxy will burn. Silence filled the room. You don't want that? The woman asked. I do not, Vareth replied. And neither should you. She leaned back. Then tell us something, she said. Why did you vote to enslave us? Vareth's voice grew quiet. Because we feared what you might become, he said. And now, she asked. And now, he said, we fear what you already are. Far away, in the council hall, chaos grew. They are contacting humans without approval. This is treason. They are exposing our weakness. Archivist Kale raised his hand. Enough, he said. This war is already lost. The room fell silent. You cannot enslave a species that has survived itself, Kale said. You cannot break what was forged in fire. A council member whispered. Then what do we do? Kale's eyes darkened. We choose, he said. Mercy or extinction. Back on Earth, the woman stood. Commander Vareth, she said. You want understanding. Then listen. She took a breath. We are not peaceful, she said. We are not gentle. We are not perfect. Vareth listened. But we protect our own, she continued. We stand when we are attacked. We fight when we are cornered. Vareth said softly, that is why we fear you. She replied, good. Silence followed. The probe sent one final message. What will you do if they return? The woman did not hesitate. We will survive, she said. And if we must, we will stand. The probe went silent, then slowly drifted away. Captain Carter looked at the sky again. They're scared now, he said. Mira nodded. And scared enemies are dangerous, she said. Carter clenched his fists. Then we stay ready. In the Galactic Council Hall, the silver alien stood before the council. This war has revealed something, he said. Not just about humans. The room was quiet. But about us, he continued. We have become what we feared. Archivist Kale stepped forward. The humans did not seek war, he said. We brought it to them. Silence filled the hall. And now, Kale said, the galaxy must decide if it will learn or burn. Back on Earth, Dr. Lena Moreau stared at the stars. They fear us now, she said softly. The general beside her replied, fear is not safety. No, Lena said. But it is a beginning. High above, the megastructure remained in place, silent and powerful. Not firing. Not threatening. Only watching. Like humanity itself. Waiting. Fear had become the new ruler of the galaxy. In the vast galactic council hall, the lights were dimmer than before. The once proud chamber now felt like a room of shadows and doubt. The council members were no longer confident leaders. They were frightened rulers watching their power slip away. The image of Earth still hovered in the center of the hall. Not as a target, but as a warning. Archivist Kale stood at the center, his dark eyes calm but serious. The humans have survived, he said. They have not only resisted us, they have revealed our weakness. A council member shouted, they are a threat. They will come for us next. Kale turned slowly. They have not attacked our worlds, he said. They defended their own. That is not conquest. That is survival. Another council member hissed, survival today. Domination tomorrow. The silver alien rose from his seat. We tried to control them, he said. And in doing so, we taught them to fear us. Fear leads to preparation. Preparation leads to power. He paused. And power leads to change. Silence filled the hall. Then a deep, cold voice spoke from the far side. Change is dangerous. All eyes turned. A massive figure emerged from the shadows. His skin was dark like space, and his eyes glowed with a hard, sharp light. I am Supreme Regent Zorath, he said. And I say the humans must be erased. Gasps echoed. Archivist Kale's eyes narrowed. Erased, he repeated. Yes, Zorath said. Not enslaved. Not contained. Destroyed. Fear spread through the hall. That would violate every law, Kale said. Laws exist to protect power, Zorath replied. Power is threatened. Laws must change. Back on Earth, life moved slowly toward something like normal. Cities were being rebuilt. Food and water were distributed. Hospitals were overwhelmed, but standing. People mourned. People survived. Captain Elias Carter walked through a refugee camp. Children played with broken toys. Parents waited in long lines for supplies. Soldiers guarded the area. Mira walked beside him. They're trying to live, she said. Carter nodded. They always do. A small child looked up at Carter. Are the sky monsters gone? The child asked. Carter knelt. For now, he said gently. The child smiled weakly. Will they come back? Carter paused. I don't know, he said. But if they do, we'll be ready. The child nodded, trusting. That trust weighed heavily on Carter's heart. In the Galactic Council Hall, Zorath continued. The humans have shown they can destroy siege ships, he said. They possess megastructures beyond our understanding. If we allow them to grow, they will become unstoppable. Kale replied, or they may become allies. Zorath laughed coldly. Hope is a weak shield. The silver alien spoke. What do you propose? Zorath's eyes glowed brighter. A weapon, he said. One that cannot be stopped. One that ends this threat forever. Kale stiffened. You speak of forbidden weapons. Zorath nodded. Yes, he said. I speak of the null wave. Silence fell like death. Even the air seemed to stop moving. Kale's voice was barely above a whisper. That weapon was banned after it destroyed 3 star systems. Zorath smiled. And it ended 3 wars. Kale stepped forward. It ended 3 civilizations, he said. Entire species were erased. Zorath spread his arms. And peace followed. The council members shifted uncomfortably. This is madness, someone said. Zorath's voice turned sharp. Madness is allowing humans to rise unchecked, he said. Madness is waiting for them to decide our fate. The silver alien asked quietly, and what if we use it and fail? Zorath looked at him. Then there will be no galaxy left to rule. Back on Earth, in the deepest command chamber, leaders gathered again. The woman who led them stood before a large screen. Our sensors show strange activity at the edge of known space, she said. Massive energy movement. A general asked, another fleet?
No, she said.
Something worse. Dr. Lena Moreau studied the data. This energy pattern is unlike any weapon we've seen, she said. It's empty. Empty, someone asked. Yes, Lena said. Like space itself is being erased. Silence filled the room. The woman's voice was calm but serious. We're not dealing with a normal attack, she said. This is something new. On the alien flagship, Commander Vareth received the same data. What is the council doing? He asked. His officer replied, they are voting. Voting on what? Vareth asked. The officer hesitated. On using the null wave. Vareth froze. No, he whispered. They cannot. They can, the officer said. And they might. Vareth clenched his fists. That weapon does not conquer, he said. It erases. Even us. The officer looked afraid. They believe it is the only way. Vareth turned sharply. Prepare my ship, he ordered. Where are you going? The officer asked. To Earth, Vareth said. Before the council destroys everything. Back in the council hall, the vote began. Lights appeared again. Green for restraint. Red for destruction. Yellow for delay. Kale watched as the lights began to change.
Red, red, red.
Yellow.
Red, green, red.
The balance tilted. Zorath smiled. The galaxy has chosen survival, he said. Kale whispered. The galaxy has chosen death. The final count appeared. The null wave was approved. A deep, dark silence filled the hall. Zorath turned to the council. Prepare the weapon, he said. Target, Earth. Back on Earth, alarms rang across military bases. This is not a fleet, a technician shouted. It's a wave. A wave of what? A general asked. Of nothing, the technician replied. It's removing space. Dr. Lena Moreau stared at the data. It's not an explosion, she said. It's a deletion. The woman looked at her. Can we stop it? Lena shook her head slowly. I don't know, she said, but we can try. In orbit, the megastructure near the moon shifted. Its lights dimmed. Its systems redirected. Energy began to flow inward instead of outward. Captain Carter watched from his ship. What's happening? Mira asked. The big gun's turning around, Carter said. Not firing, charging. Charging inward. The megastructure was not preparing to attack. It was preparing to defend. On Earth, Lena worked fast. The null wave works by collapsing space, she said. If we can stabilize space around Earth, we might be able to hold it back. A general frowned. With what? She looked at the screen. With everything. Across Earth, systems activated. Satellites repositioned. Power grids rerouted. Defense systems reprogrammed. Even civilian energy systems were linked. Humanity was turning its entire planet into a shield. In space, the megastructure near the moon began to glow in a new way.
Not bright.
Not powerful.
Calm. Steady.
Like a heartbeat. Commander Vareth's ship jumped into Earth's system. He contacted Earth immediately. This is Commander Vareth, he said. The Council has approved the null wave. You are in danger. The woman responded calmly. We know, she said. And we are preparing. Vareth hesitated. I am not here to fight, he said. I am here to warn you. She replied. Why? Vareth's voice was quiet. Because if they erase you, he said, they erase the last chance for this galaxy to change. In the council hall, Zorath watched as the null wave weapon powered up. Massive structures beyond stars began to align. Space itself began to bend. The weapon is charging, an officer said. Zorath smiled. Soon, he said, there will be no humans to fear. Back on Earth, the woman stood before the leaders. This is not a battle, she said. This is a test. A test of what? Someone asked.
Of who we are, she said.
She looked at the screen showing Earth. We can choose to fight for ourselves, she said. Or, we can choose to fight for something bigger. Silence filled the room. She continued. If we survive this, she said, we do not hide again. In orbit, Captain Carter watched the stars begin to distort. Space ahead of them looked wrong.
Dark.
Empty. Like a hole in reality. Mira whispered, "What is that?" Carter swallowed. "That," he said, "is fear made real." The null wave began to move.
Not fast.
Not slow. It moved like a shadow. Silent. Unstoppable. Space vanished where it passed. Stars disappeared. Light died. The wave moved toward Earth. On Earth, Lena watched the data.
It's coming, she said.
The woman asked, "How much time?" "Minutes," Lena replied. Humanity activated everything. The megastructure pulsed. The planet's defenses rose. Space around Earth shimmered. Reality itself seemed to tighten. In the council hall, Kale watched the wave move. "This will not end well," he whispered. Zorith replied, "It will end everything." Back on Earth, people looked up. The sky darkened. Stars vanished. Fear spread like fire. Parents held children. Soldiers stood firm. Scientists worked until their hands shook. Captain Carter's ship shook as space itself bent around it. Mira grabbed the controls. "We're being pulled," Carter shouted. "Hold steady." On Earth, Lena's hands moved across the controls. "We're stabilizing space," she said. "But it's not enough." The woman asked, "Then what is?" Lena looked at the megastructure. "Sacrifice," she said. The megastructure began to glow brighter. Energy surged through it. Its systems strained. It was not built to stop a weapon like this. It was built to fight. But now it would defend. Commander Vareth watched from orbit. "They are standing against the impossible," he whispered. In the council hall, Zorith watched the wave approach Earth. "Soon," he said. Kale closed his eyes. "May the galaxy forgive us," he whispered. The null wave reached the edge of Earth's defensive field. Space screamed. Light bent. Reality shook. For a moment, everything froze. Then something unexpected happened. The wave slowed. Not stopped, but slowed. The megastructure pulsed again. The planet's defenses held.
Barely.
On Earth, Lena gasped.
"It's working," she said.
"But we can't hold it forever." The woman looked at her. "Then we hold it long enough," she said, "for something to change." The universe was holding its breath. At the edge of Earth's space, the null wave pressed against the planet's defenses like a silent storm. It did not roar. It did not burn. It erased. Space twisted. Light bent. Reality itself trembled. The megastructure near the moon glowed brighter with every second. Energy surged through it like a heartbeat struggling to stay alive. The planetary shield shook, stretched thin like glass about to shatter. On Earth, alarms screamed. "Structural integrity falling," a technician shouted. "Energy levels critical," another yelled. Dr. Lena Moreau stared at the screen, her hand shaking. "It's not enough," she said. "We're slowing it, but we can't stop it." The woman standing beside her looked calm, but her eyes were heavy with pain. "Then we hold," she said, "until holding becomes something else." In orbit, Captain Elias Carter's ship shook violently. Space itself felt thick, like moving through water. "What is happening to space?" Mira shouted. Carter struggled with the controls. "It's being squeezed," he said, "like the universe is trying to close its fist." Outside, stars vanished as the wave consumed them. Not exploded. Not destroyed. Erased. "Captain," Mira whispered, "we're next." Carter looked at Earth below. Blue. Fragile. Home. "Not today," he said. On the alien flagship, Commander Vareth watched the same thing from afar. His ship trembled as the wave passed nearby. "They are still standing," his officer said. Vareth's voice was low. "They are standing against nothing," he said. "And that makes them everything." He clenched his fists. "If they fall," he said, "the galaxy falls with them." Far away, in the Galactic Council Hall, panic turned into silence. Screens showed the null wave colliding with Earth's defenses. Some council members watched in fear. Some watched in guilt. Some watched in cold satisfaction. Supreme Regent Zorth stood tall. "It will break them," he said. "Nothing can resist the null wave." Archivist Kale replied quietly, "Nothing should exist that erases existence itself." Zorth turned. "Existence is chaos," he said. "Order requires sacrifice." Kale's eyes darkened. "Then you have chosen to sacrifice the wrong ones," he said. Back on Earth, something unexpected happened. The megastructure changed. Instead of pushing energy outward, it began to pull energy inward. Not just from Earth systems, but from the wave itself. Lena's eyes widened. "It's not just blocking the wave," she said. "It's drinking it." The woman stared at the screen. "Is that possible?" "It shouldn't be," Lena said. "But it's happening." The megastructure was not fighting the wave. It was feeding on it. In orbit, Carter saw the glow shift. "The big structure's changing color," Mira said. "It's not firing. It's absorbing." Carter leaned forward. "It's learning," he said. "Like we always do." The null wave slowed further. Not much, but enough. Space around Earth stabilized slightly. The stars stopped vanishing, at least for now. On Earth, scientists stared at their screens in disbelief. "We're stabilizing the wave front," Lena said. "Not stopping it, but shaping it." The woman asked, "Can we redirect it?" Lena hesitated. "Maybe," she said. "But that would mean sending it somewhere else," the woman said softly. Silence filled the room. "You mean," a general whispered, "into the galaxy." Lena nodded slowly. In the council hall, Kale sensed something change. "The wave is slowing," he said. Zorth frowned. "That is impossible." Kale replied, "Humans specialize in impossible." Zorth turned sharply, then increased the power. An officer hesitated. "Regent, the weapon is already at maximum safe output." Zortha's eyes glowed. "Then remove the word safe." The officer swallowed and obeyed. The null wave surged again. Back on Earth, alarms spiked. "It's increasing," Lena shouted. "They're forcing it." The megastructure glowed brighter, its systems strained beyond limits. Cracks of energy ran across its surface. Captain Carter watched the structure shudder. "It's going to break," Mira said. Carter shook his head. "No," he said. "It's going to choose." Deep inside the megastructure, ancient systems reached a decision. Not programmed. Not ordered. Chosen. It redirected its core. Instead of absorbing more, it began to bend the wave. Not away from Earth, but upward. Away from the planet. Into open space. On Earth, Lena stared at the screen. "It's turning the wave," she said. "Redirecting it." "Where?" the woman asked. Lena's voice was quiet. "Toward the council space." Silence filled the room. A general whispered, "That could destroy their worlds." Lena replied softly, "That's what they tried to do to us." In orbit, Carter felt the pull change. "We're not being erased anymore," Mira said. "The wave is moving away." Carter looked at the stars ahead. "No," he said. "It's moving through." In the council hall, Kale watched in horror as the wave's direction shifted. "It's turning," he said. Zorth shouted, "That's impossible." Kale replied, "So, was enslaving humanity." Alarms exploded across the hall. Wave trajectory changing. Targeting inner council systems. Zorth's face went pale. "No," he whispered. "No, no, no." Back on Earth, the woman closed her eyes. "We did not choose revenge," she said. "We chose survival." Lena looked at her. "But survival has consequences," she said. The woman nodded. "It always does." The null wave moved away from Earth, bending through space like a dark river of nothingness. It did not fade. It did not weaken. It moved toward the heart of galactic power. In the council hall, chaos erupted. "They're sending it toward us. Shut it down." "We can't," Zorth roared. "Redirect it. Fire at the megastructure." Weapon systems powered up. Massive energy beams struck the megastructure near the moon. The structure shook. Cracks of light split across its surface. On Earth, Lena cried out. "They're attacking it." The woman clenched her fists. "If it breaks," she said, "the wave will snap back." In orbit, Carter watched the beams hit. "They're trying to destroy our shield," Mira said. Carter's voice was steady. "Then we protect it." Human ships surged forward, placing themselves between the megastructure and the incoming fire. Shields flared. Ships burned. Some fell. But they held. One pilot's voice echoed over the comms. "This is for Earth," he said. Another voice followed. "For our families. For our future. For survival." The megastructure system strained, but it held. The null wave continued its new path. In the council hall, Kale stood still. "They brought this upon themselves," he said. Zorath collapsed into his chair. "This was not supposed to happen," he whispered. Kale turned to him. "No," he said. "It was." The wave reached the edge of council-controlled space. Stars began to vanish. Entire systems blinked out like lights being turned off. Not destroyed. Removed. Silence followed. On Earth, people watched the sky slowly return to normal. Stars reappeared. The dark shadow faded. Children stopped crying. Parents held each other. Hope returned. But it was heavy. Not light. Not joyful. Heavy with knowledge. Captain Carter returned to base. His ship was damaged. His face was tired. Mira looked at him. "We're alive," she said. Carter nodded. "Yes," he said. "And the galaxy is not." In the council hall, Kale watched the destruction. "You wanted order," he said to Zorath. "You created emptiness." Zorath whispered, "I only wanted control." Kale replied, "Control is the enemy of understanding." Back on Earth, leaders gathered again. "We survived," a general said. "But we redirected a weapon that erased worlds." The woman nodded. "Yes," she said, "and we will carry that weight." Lena asked, "Was there another choice?" The woman looked at her. "Maybe," she said, "but not in the time we had." Commander Vareth watched from his ship. "They turned the weapon," he said. His officer whispered, "They saved themselves." Vareth shook his head. "They saved the galaxy," he said, "by showing it what it has become." On Earth, the megastructure slowly powered down. Its glow faded. Its systems quieted. It had done what it was never designed to do. It had chosen. In the council hall, the remaining members sat in silence. No shouting. No orders. Only the weight of loss. Kale spoke softly. "This is what fear builds," he said. "Weapons that erase existence." Zorath did not answer. Back on Earth, the woman stood before the leaders. "We cannot go back," she said. "Not to hiding. Not to silence." A general asked, "Then what do we do?" She replied, "We speak." "To who?" someone asked. She looked up at the stars. "To everyone." In orbit, Carter watched Earth from his cockpit. "They'll fear us now," Mira said. Carter replied, "They already did." Mira asked, "Then what changes?" Carter's voice was quiet. "They'll fear us, but they'll listen." Far away, the galaxy mourned. Worlds erased. Power broken. Certainty shattered. And in the center of it all, a small blue planet remained. Not as a conqueror. Not as a god. But as a survivor, the galaxy was no longer loud. It was quiet. Too quiet. Where once there had been endless stars, now there were empty spaces. Entire systems had vanished, erased by the null wave that humans had redirected. Not destroyed. Not burned. Gone. In the Galactic Council Hall, silence ruled. No shouting. No threats. No pride. Only broken leaders sitting among broken stars. Archivist Kale stood in the center of the hall. His voice was calm, but heavy with loss. "We wanted control," he said. "We created emptiness." Supreme Regent Zorath sat motionless. His once glowing eyes were dull. His voice was barely a whisper. "I only wanted to protect the galaxy," he said. Kale looked at him. "You protected power," he replied. "Not life." Zorth said nothing. Far away, on Earth, people looked up at the sky and saw the stars again. The darkness had retreated. The night felt normal. But nothing was normal. News spread fast. The alien attack has stopped. The wave has turned. Worlds were erased.
People were relieved.
People were afraid. People were confused. Captain Elias Carter stood on a rooftop, watching the city below. Lights were back on. Streets were filled again. Life continued. Mira stood beside him. "They're gone," she said. "For now," Carter replied. Mira looked at the stars. "They tried to erase us," she said. "And now they've erased themselves." Carter nodded. "And now they will come to us," he said. "Not with weapons. With words," Mira finished. In a secure chamber beneath Earth, leaders gathered once more. The woman who had guided them through the crisis stood at the front. "They're sending a message," she said. A general asked, "From who?" "The Galactic Council," she replied. "They request communication." Silence filled the room. Another leader whispered, "Request or beg?" The woman met his eyes.
"Both," she said.
The message appeared on the main screen. The image was not of a ship, not of a weapon. It was of the council hall itself. Broken. Empty.
Dark.
Archivist Kale stood alone in the center. "People of Earth," he said, "we come not as rulers. We come not as judges. We come as survivors." The woman stepped forward.
"Speak," she said.
Kale's voice trembled slightly. "We made a choice out of fear," he said. "And that fear destroyed more than any war ever could." He paused. "We voted to enslave you," he continued. "Then we voted to erase you." Silence filled the room. "We failed," Kale said. "Not because you defeated us, but because we became what we feared." On Earth, Carter watched the broadcast. His fists clenched. "They're apologizing," he said. Mira replied softly, "They're grieving." Carter looked at her. "They should be," he said. "They tried to kill us." "Yes," she said. "But they failed. And now they are afraid of what comes next." Back in the command chamber, Kale continued. "We know we cannot undo.
"What has been done," he said.
We know we cannot restore the worlds that were erased." The woman replied, "No, you cannot." Kale nodded. "But we can change what comes next," he said. "And how do you plan to do that?" the woman asked. Kale took a deep breath. "We ask for mercy," he said. Silence fell. A general whispered, "Mercy?" Kale lowered his head. "We ask that you do not seek revenge," he said. "We ask that you do not use the same weapon against us." The woman's eyes hardened. "You used that weapon against us," she said. "And against your own people." Kale replied, "Yes." "And now you ask us to be better than you were," she said. "Yes," Kale said softly. The room was silent. Then one leader spoke. "They tried to enslave us." Another added, "They tried to erase us." A third whispered, "And now they ask for mercy." The woman raised her hand. "Enough," she said. She looked at the screen. "Archivist Kale," she said. "Do you know how many people we lost?" Kale bowed his head. "No," he said. "And I never can," she continued. "Do you know how many children died? How many families were destroyed?" Kale remained silent. "Do you know what it feels like," she said, "to watch your world almost disappear?" Kale whispered, "No." She paused. "But we do," she said. Silence filled the chamber. "And that," she continued, "is why we will not become you." Across Earth, the message spread. People gathered in homes, schools, shelters, and streets. They watched. They listened. Some were angry. Some were afraid. Some were tired. A man shouted at his screen, "They deserve what they get." A woman cried, "They took my son." A child whispered, "Are they bad?" Parents did not know how to answer. Back in the command chamber, the woman spoke again. "You ask for mercy," she said. "But mercy is not silence." Kale looked up. "Then tell us what you require," he said. The woman's voice was steady. "You will disarm the null wave," she said. "Completely. Permanently." Kale nodded. "It will be done," he said. You will dismantle the systems that allow any species to vote to enslave another, she said. Kale hesitated. That will change the entire structure of the council, he said. She replied, Good. Kale bowed his head. It will be done, he said. You will open your records, she continued. Your histories. Your technologies. Your laws. No more secrets. Kale replied, We will. And you will recognize Earth, she said, not as a threat, but as an equal. Kale looked up. With honor, he said. A general whispered. And what do we give them? The woman answered without hesitation. Restraint, she said. Another leader asked, That's all? She nodded. That's everything, she said. Archivist Kale's voice trembled. You will not seek revenge? He asked. The woman looked directly at him. No, she said. But we will not forget. Kale bowed deeply. Then we are in your debt, he said. The woman replied, No, she said. You are in your own. On the alien flagship, Commander Vareth watched the broadcast. They chose mercy, his officer said. Vareth closed his eyes. They chose strength, he said. Captain Carter sat with Mira, watching the stars. They let them live, Mira said. Yes, Carter replied. Would you have done the same? She asked. Carter thought for a moment. I don't know, he said. But I'm glad they did. Why? Mira asked. Carter looked at Earth. Because revenge would have made us their mirror, he said. And we're better than that. In the council hall, changes began immediately. Weapons were shut down. Systems were dismantled. Votes were cancelled. Laws were rewritten. The council hall, once a place of control, began to change into something else. A place of listening. On Earth, people felt the change. Not in the sky. Not in the ground. But in their hearts. The fear did not disappear. But it softened. People began to talk about tomorrow. Not just survival. But future. Archivist Kale sent one final message. People of Earth, he said. We will spend the rest of our existence trying to earn what you gave us today. The woman replied, Then begin. Across the galaxy, worlds watched. Species that had feared humans now feared themselves. Species that had voted for control now questioned their own choices. Humanity had not conquered the galaxy, but it had changed it. Captain Carter stood once more under the night sky. They're afraid of us now, Mira said. Yes, Carter replied. But they're also learning from us. Mira smiled faintly. That's a first, she said. Carter nodded. Let's hope it's not the last. In the council hall, Archivist Kale stood before the new council. We once believed power meant control, he said. Now we know power means restraint. Silence filled the hall. And we learned this, he continued, from a species we tried to enslave. On Earth, the woman stood before the world's leaders. We are not rulers of the galaxy, she said. We are not its judges.
She paused.
But we are no longer its victims. Far above, the megastructure near the moon remained silent. No longer a weapon. No longer a shield. But a symbol that humanity had stood against extinction and chosen mercy. The galaxy did not change in one day, but it began to change. Slowly, quietly, deeply. After the Council's request for mercy, ships across the stars powered down their weapons. Ancient laws were rewritten. Old systems of control were dismantled. For the first time in galactic history, no species ruled another. And all of it began with Earth. On Earth, life slowly returned to something close to normal. Cities were rebuilt. Schools reopened. Hospitals healed. People learned to live again. But the sky was never just the sky anymore. Every star carried a memory. Every night carried a warning. Captain Elias Carter stood on a hill outside the city, watching the sunset. Mira stood beside him. They say the galaxy is changing, she said. Carter nodded. It had no choice, he said. Mira smiled slightly. Neither did we, she said. Carter looked at her. But we chose how to respond, he said. Far away, in the Galactic Council Hall, the old banners had been removed. The room no longer glowed with power, but with purpose. Representatives from thousands of species sat together, Not in fear, not in control, but in silence and respect. Archivist Kale stood at the center. "We are not here to rule," he said. "We are here to remember." The hall was quiet. "We remember the worlds that were erased," Kale continued. "We remember the lives that were lost. And we remember the choice that saved us from becoming monsters." All eyes turned to the large screen at the front of the hall. The image of Earth appeared.
Small, blue, alive.
Kale spoke softly. "We remember humanity." Back on Earth, the woman who had led during the war stood before a global assembly. Leaders from every nation watched. "The galaxy has asked for our guidance," she said. "Not our control, not our weapons, our guidance." Silence filled the room. "They once voted to enslave us," she continued. "They once voted to erase us." Murmurs spread. "But now," she said, "they ask us how to live." A leader stood. "What do we tell them?" he asked. She looked around the room. "We tell them what we learned the hard way," she said. "We tell them that fear builds weapons," she said. "But understanding builds peace." Another leader asked, "And what if they betray us again?" She met his eyes. "Then we stand again," she said. "But we do not become them." In orbit, the megastructure near the moon remained quiet. Scientists studied it, but no one tried to weaponize it again. It had become something else. A reminder. A warning. A promise. Dr. Lena Morrow stood beside it in a space station, watching the stars. "We could turn it into the greatest weapon ever," a technician said. Lena shook her head.
"We already did," she said.
And it chose not to be one. Commander Varith's ship arrived near Earth. Not as an enemy. Not as a conqueror. But as a guest. He stood in a chamber aboard a human station, waiting. The woman entered. "You came," she said. Varith bowed slightly. "I owed you that," he said. She looked at him. "Why?" she asked. "Because," he said, "you showed me what my people forgot." She gestured for him to speak. "You showed me that power does not come from control," he said. "It comes from restraint." She nodded. "And what will you do now?" she asked. "I will help change the council," Varith said. "From the inside." She smiled faintly. "Good," she said. "We don't need rulers. We need listeners." Across the galaxy, changes spread. Species once silenced now spoke. Worlds once controlled now governed themselves. Technology, once hidden, was shared. Trade replaced threat. Dialogue replaced dominance. But not everyone accepted the change. Some feared humanity. Some hated them. Some planned in secret. And humanity knew it. Captain Carter sat in a quiet room, watching star maps. "They're still afraid of us," Mira said. Carter nodded. "They should be," he said. "Not because we're strong." "Then why?" she asked. "Because we remember," he said. "And we learn." In the council hall, Archivist Kale stood before the new council. "We must address the greatest question of our time," he said. The room quieted. "What is humanity's role in the galaxy?" Silence followed.
Kale continued.
"They are not rulers. They are not gods. They are not conquerors." He paused. "They are witnesses." The room remained silent. "They witnessed what fear can do," Kale said. "And they chose not to repeat it." Back on Earth, the woman stood before a group of young students. They looked at her with curious eyes. "Are aliens real?" one child asked. She smiled. "Yes," she said. "Are they bad?" another asked. She shook her head. "No," she said. "They're learning." A third child asked, "Did they try to hurt us?" She paused. "Yes," she said. The room went quiet. "Then why didn't we hurt them back?" the child asked. She smiled softly. "Because," she said, "we wanted tomorrow." In space, the first joint human-alien station was built. Not a fortress. Not a base. A meeting place. Captain Carter was invited as a representative of Earth's defense forces. He stood beside Varith as ships from many species arrived. "They're nervous," Varith said. "They should be," Carter replied. Varith smiled slightly. "You do not trust us," he said. Carter looked at him. "No," he said. But I believe in change. Vareth nodded. So do I, he said. Inside the station, Archivist Kale spoke to the gathered representatives. We once voted to enslave Earth, he said. Now we vote to never enslave any world again. Lights appeared in the air.
Green, green, green.
All green. The vote passed. For the first time in galactic history, slavery was outlawed across the stars. Back on Earth, people watched the broadcast. Some cried. Some smiled. Some simply breathed. A woman whispered, "We did it." A man replied, "No. We survived." A child asked, "What happens now?" The woman answered, "Now we live." Commander Vareth stood beside the woman on a balcony, overlooking Earth. "You could have destroyed us," he said. She looked at the planet. "Yes," she said. "We could have." "Why didn't you?" he asked. She replied, "Because if we destroyed you, we would destroy what we were trying to protect." He nodded. "You chose mercy," he said. She shook her head. "No," she said. "We chose responsibility." Captain Carter walked through a city park. Children played. Birds flew. Life continued. Mira walked beside him. "The galaxy calls us protectors now," she said. Carter laughed quietly. "We couldn't even protect ourselves at first," he said. Mira smiled. "And yet," she said, "we protected everyone." Far away, in a distant system, a small group of species watched humanity with fear. "They are too powerful," one said. "They will rule us," another said. "They already spared us," a third replied. Silence followed. Fear still existed, but so did memory. In the council hall, Archivist Kale recorded a final message for galactic history. "Let it be known," he said, "that humanity was judged by the galaxy and the galaxy was judged by humanity." He paused. "Let it be known that humanity chose mercy." On Earth, the woman stood once more before the world's leaders. "We are not the guardians of the galaxy," she said, "but we are its reminder." "Reminder of what?" someone asked. She replied, "Of what happens when fear leads." "And of what happens," she added, "when courage answers." Captain Carter looked up at the night sky one last time before returning home. "They begged us," Mira said softly. Carter nodded. "And we answered," he said. Far beyond Earth, across countless stars, a simple truth spread. Humanity was not feared because they were strong. Humanity was feared because they were merciful. And the galaxy would never forget it.